Fari Hamzei, how you doing?
I'm good, Dennis. How are you?
Not too bad. We were just talking earlier on the show about these weekly options. I was talking about what you were telling me that, the people who are making these options and the people selling or making money on these options are the people selling these options. And we were looking at Chipotle. And the Chipotle 700 puts ahead of the report were going for 15 bucks. And the stock's trading down
Okay.
$50 almost here. Yet if you bought those 700 puts, you'd only be up $2 on that trade right now. So here you are, you called the right direction, but because you didn't give yourself a lot of time on these weekly puts, the premium all has gone out
Right.
from you underneeth you, and you still don't make money. So, what are your thoughts on these weeklies? I know what you're going to say, but give us your thoughts.
Are you going to get me in hot water with this great institution called SIBO down the street from me? Come on.
We don't want to get you in
Come
hot
on.
water there, Fari. So don't say.
Well,
Well,
I already got into hot water with them a couple of times. One of them was we were running put call on their symbol, on CBOE, on their options. See what the put call is telling us in terms of their sentiment. And back then, we're running a different software. We're running a huge number of names. One of them was SIBO. Well, as it came out, well, the first thing you did, like after 2 or 3 days, the sentiment became very negative. And of course, it was being published. Next thing I know, everybody over there is calling me saying, "Get on, out of your system. What are you doing talking about us?"
so you
I
don't
said,
want to
okay,
talk
guys,
about the weekly
no more talking
options.
about any exchanges. Forget SIBO, none of them.
Okay, we'll just talk about the weekly options and don't talk about SIBO.
Sure, exactly. The concept is the same. It's where do you think you get items cheap per unit? At Costco or what we call whole paycheck or Whole Foods, whatever you want to call it. Whole Foods. Obviously, it's Costco. You're buying bulk, right? So here, what these guys are doing is the weeklies is like Whole Food. The monthlies is Costco. It's very simple.
I love
You
this
just per
analogy.
slice of time, if you look at it, you have more volatility and more theta going against you. So,
So, in other words, you don't shop at Whole Foods.
selectively you should.
Selectively.
Sometimes the wine selection is good. We'll see.
Very selectively.
Yeah. Good.
Fari's basically saying he's not a fan of the weeklies. At least buying
Hi,
them.
Joel. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good here. I just wanted to check in with you on a couple different issues here. And I know we've asked you about Alibaba in the past, and I know you like to
Right.
collect data before you really start to analyze a stock. You like to get your Sigma channels in line here. Alibaba's been
Yeah.
trading for, quite some time. What that IPO in
Yeah.
September? Do you got enough data
Uh,
to glean to give us an accurate
yeah.
read on this stock?
Sure. We have 5 months of data right now. We started the 6 months this month. Weekly, I have nothing on it. We can't draw anything on weekly. But we have some Sigma channels on daily. And of course, Reg FD. We went in and we had a color spread. We were wrong. My reasoning was very fundamental in nature, saying, would these guys be that audacious to miss their first public earnings? I think, as you all know, a lot can be done with contracts and what have you. I'm not saying you can manage your earning, but you can move things around if you want to, accounting wise. Anyhow, to some degree, uh, recognize certain sales, recognize certain asset purchases, what have you. But to my surprise, they missed, and they missed big. I mean, we had the color spread, but they missed big. And Sigma wise, if you look at it, they dropped two Sigma channels on the earning day, which was 4 days ago, right? On the 29th, we dropped down two full Sigma channels. And now it's putting back up. Why? Because actually the low that day was almost 4 sigma negative. I mean, they got to collaborate. So,
Okay, quick question
uh,
for you following up on
sure.
that. I know you like your Sigma channels and stuff. I just want to try and get a read on your other technical analysis techniques. Dennis and I are big, double bottom, triple bottom, same on the top
Uh-huh.
upside here. Would you make a call or would you make a trade based on this $92 level? Good resistance. It was the high. It's been the recovery high after the 87.36 low, 91.65, 91.66. Do you put any kind of significance on triple tops like that, or do you just stick with your Sigma channels?
No, I do. I mean, near their all-time highs, obviously, that becomes critical. On near a all-time low, that becomes critical. We're coming to where it's its lows were back in early October. Okay, so there should be some support there, but I would wait to see what the reaction is. Okay, of that test, what we call retest failure. I wouldn't say jump in, but I would be ready to jump in, saying, let me see what the reaction is when we do maybe a one test or two tests. Sometimes you get a W, the bottoms, you do a harsh drop. It gets rid of the weak longs. It doesn't matter what the asset is. It's psychology. Gets rid of the weak longs, comes back up, but it's a dead cat bounce. The next round of selling comes in, but then we'll see. If there's more momentum, more order flow, we're going to cascade down. If not, that's the W. And usually you get a lower price on the second retest and a higher indicator reading. Okay, like a momentum indicator. You can use MACD, for example. So if the second one is higher, you get your divergence. That's a safe bet to go in. You can't guarantee that it always works, because what if another piece of news comes up? Remember, charts don't tell you what happened in each bar. Why did somebody bought or sold? A lot of factors come in. But down there, usually a decent W is good. Right now, maybe we're getting set up to retest the lows. I believe the lows I see on the chart here belong to a week of 17th of October, and low was 82.81. Maybe we got another, 5-6% to go down there and pull up. We had a huge bar last month. You have to respect that. I'm sorry, last week. I'm looking at the chart. Last week was a huge bar. You've got to respect that. And usually that's not goes unnoticed, So, we could come back and retest at least the low of last week as a primary test. I think a safe bet would be to test the 82 lows, which were again a week of October 17th.
Fari, what are your thoughts? Do you have any Sigma channels there for GoPro? We got JC is in the chat asking about GoPro, and this has had quite the run here for the last 2 days. 2 days ago, this thing was under $50. It's now trading over 55 here in the pre-market at 55.49. They are scheduled to report earnings tomorrow night here. What are your thoughts on GoPro?
Yeah, first of all, good person on that in terms of short-term stuff is Ethan. He trades it. I am planning to trade the option for it. It is on the radar. We have now with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 9 months of data, so even the weeklies are beginning to plot a little bit. Dailies are clean. Looks like the daily is trying to pull up. Okay, channel-wise, a little bit of strength there. I think the challenge is going to be a 50 bar. Which is 61, 62, I believe. 61, 21. I don't see it jumping over 68 here. That's a 3 sigma. Unless they have a spectacular earnings. Now, remember, this is Christmas time, so they could. But I would peg my work around 68 on top. On the bottom, huge range, by the way, 38. So 30 handle difference between the top 3. Yeah. +3 to -3 is 30 handles. Now, it was worse than that. Yeah. In about, let's see, this is daily up. On the 26th of this month, it was maxed out at the level. That is, it was really, really pushing. I don't know what the sigma level up and downs were, but the 3 sigma was higher and negative 3 sigma was lower. So we're beginning to contract a little bit. Maybe getting ready for another move. You can see the cycles. You can see the volatility cycles. It's beginning to trade normally. This stock did not trade normally in the beginning because of the post IPO. It began to get to normal normal price expectations, I should say, around the first week of October. So now it's getting some channels in the following. Before it was shooting up, boom. I get a lot of news on it. It was new. I would say what happens at 61, 62 is crucial, and then my line in the sand would be, what if it's 68? Now, if they do really well, that's where it's going to probably open. It's going to open there and go, and really going to mess up a lot of people. So that's where the pressure point is going to be.
Well, that's what the market does, Fari. It punishes the most people most of the time.
Pain.
Yeah, max pain. Let's go to one you've been a little bit bullish on here, and I'm not sure how you've been playing it, but we got earnings coming out on Thursday here. The Twitter. Fari, how you doing in Twitter?
It's on our list also. We'll be playing it. Last time they missed, as you know. The volatility is not giving us any signal. Very tight. Super, super tight. It's been that way since Thanksgiving. Actually, even prior to Thanksgiving. Yeah, pretty much after the drop. If you look at it, after the last earnings, since last thing, which was late October, if you look at it, that gap now, since then, we've had very little volatility. So there's no signal there. CIs are very flat. And also you can see how close we are with 50 bar and 200 bar. You know what I would do on this? I would probably trade the next day after. Won't trade into it. Won't hold through it. We'll trade the next day after.
Fari, does it
because
scare
the charts are not saying anything.
I like the long-term
Okay.
story, Fari. I like the long-term story here on Twitter. And I actually own this as an investment, not as a trading vehicle. But I'm kind of concerned here, and I mentioned this earlier on the show, short-term, because every tweet that I see go by, it seems like everybody, even on CNBC, is saying, you got to own Twitter, you got to own Twitter, you got to own Twitter. And we're seeing it run up $3 here ahead of the report. We're seeing up another $1 here, and it doesn't report till tomorrow night. I'm just concerned that maybe everybody's leaning a little bit too much to the long side short-term here. Do you think the trade could potentially be crowded long term, and do you pay attention to sentiment?
Oh, obviously you have to pay attention to sentiment, but the biggest unknown about Twitter is not the chart; it's the fundamental story, which is monetization.
Yes.
Okay? So, and you can't see that in the chart. But
Yes.
yeah, look at it right now. If I look at it, big bar yesterday. We're up another 72 cents right now. But the volume has been very low. Okay. Yeah, we had a couple of days. One day in October, one day middle of November, we had some spikes in volume. Volume has been relatively low vis-a-vis the market. We've had gone nowhere fast since the last earnings. My question would be, what if these guys miss this time again?
Oh, I think if they miss this
stock
time,
is going to react. I mean, it will tank.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would, if I buy one side, either I pass and play next day, or if I have to be in, I know some people need action. Okay, you have to be in for the earnings. All right, you got to play the both ends. You got to take two verticals, call a spread and put a spread, but be careful what your combined cost is. Don't overpay because you can get sucked in.
And that's the problem. Is the premiums are
as you
so
know, if
high.
you overpay on the way out, you're not going to be able to recover what you did on the other side. So.
We're on the line with Fari Hamzei of Hamzei Analytics. He joins us every Wednesday to discuss options activity and index futures trends. Fari, before we let you go here, what do you think about the volatility in the market? What is the OTF chart telling you in the S&Ps, and what's your outlook here? Big trading range up and down. You lean in one way or another.
Well, with Time and Digest, as you know, we're short. They haven't changed that. We were doing relatively well until Friday. Last 2 days, negated all of that again. So wiped out our gain. Right now, it is just a chart of what we call Uber sausage. We've just gone back and forth. If you step back, you'd see in last 6 weeks, in a probably 100, 150, 200 points range there, that maybe it's a little bit more than that, I'm looking at the S&Ps. That we just go back and forth, and indicative by the fact that the signal bands are shrinking. That is, the volatility is dropping because we're kind of stuck here. It's the charts are, as I mentioned on Saturday, also on Twitter on the 100 Kilo Sub, our market timing feed. A lot of the charts we look at, and it hasn't changed, or even though you feel you should be short, the charts are not giving you any clear, definite signal. Okay, number of them. Usually, it's a preponderance of evidence, and a good example. Now it's even worse. The action of Monday and Tuesday, because while we were beginning to take shape, direction down, last 2 days, that too. So we're flat. Now, big move yesterday was obviously energy.
Yeah,
the
what are your
energy
thoughts
sector
here?
was huge.
I was going to say, what are your thoughts here on oil? Rob Hood in the chat is asking what you're thinking about this oil rally here, this recent rally.
I don't think we've seen the bottom of the oil crisis, because usually the bottoms are put in by somebody exiting the market. Somebody decides they can't handle it.
Capitulation.
Whereas a brokerage firm, a bank, oil company, what have you. Usually that sets the market. It's a flush. I haven't seen that event yet. And the market data after global events are not all that great about growth, as you can see in the rate cuts. I think this is possibly a good dead cat bounce in oil. I think we'll see lower prices.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen the end of the story here yet.
Fari Hamzei, founder of Hamzei Analytics, joins us every Wednesday, bringing his wealth of knowledge on aggressive equity options and index futures trends. Fari, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you next week.
My pleasure. See you guys. Bye-bye.